Starseed is... Starseed... Okay. I know what you're all looking at right now. Stop it. Behave yourself. Okay, let me change the scene. You can't concentrate on what I'm saying. I can't concentrate on what I'm trying to say. Nope. Not that one. Wait, no, not that one either. Okay, we're off to a bad start. Admittedly, I promise I am a professional. Jeff, I need you to, yeah. Change to a scene that people can have on display around their friends and family. What do you mean there are no scenes that are safe for public environments? Okay, there we go. We'll use this. If it wasn't already evident, Starseed is probably not a gacha game you're gonna want to play in public. No, definitely not. But that is good. That is a definitive positive for us, because it means we only need one hand to play it. Hey, my name is Stix and welcome back to the worst gacha ever, a video series where I discuss a gacha and tell you guys what I thought in explicit detail as we attempt to find the worst gacha ever. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that little bell notification. That way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post every Sunday. Do not miss out. Now pull out your Dorito bag, go grab a can of vanilla Coke, and let's get talking. Before we start, I do want to point out whoever took my name, Flaccid Stix, before I got around to doing it, I hate you. Who, other than me, would genuinely want this name? Come on, man. You begin the game in heaven, or getting a glimpse of heaven. I guarantee there is not a single sane person in this world that would be against waking up to this. She then transports you on, well, not on necessarily. Wait, how are we able to view her at that camera angle while we're moving? I don't see a passenger seat. This looks like a single motorbike. You know what? I'm gonna go into this with a certain suspension of disbelief because it's a great angle and I really don't care. You're introduced to the combat via boss battle, after which Motorbike Molly, which is what we're going to refer to her as now, gets seriously injured and she needs my special Stix liquid to heal her. I apologize for the obscuring of certain key details that would largely aid you in fully experiencing and immersing yourself in the sheer horror and defeat Motorbike Molly feels in this moment, but for the sake of the little green money icon, certain liberties need to be taken. These kinds of scenes are quite prevalent throughout the game and are one of the reasons that I've enjoyed this as much as I have. You have a battle that lasts 30 seconds, and then 5 minutes of gratuitous, unfiltered joy. Combat is pretty simple, which is great for me because when you look up the word in a dictionary, you see my face beside it. You'll begin by deploying 5 units. Each unit has their own class archetype: tank, DPS, support. They also possess their own elemental affinity, using Pokemon terms here. Fire beats grass, grass beats water, water beats fire, with dark and light being both equally as powerful and weak against one another. You'll place down your 5 units strategically in a 3x3 grid, trying to protect your squishies with more powerful frontline units. Not that that really does anything, my squishies die in 2 seconds anyway. You'll be able to utilize tactics, which possess a variety of beneficial effects like Quartermaster, which provides an 11.5% HP boost, or Heavy Bombardment, which provides a 10.9% attack boost. The icons denote the units that will be directly affected by the formation change, so choose wisely. There are plenty of options that you unlock over the course of the game. There is also the S trigger, which acts like an additional bonus ability that can be used in battle. After you start the battle, you'll have the option to either manually use your own abilities or have them used automatically. I don't see much point in me using them myself, so I tend to let it auto. I'm sure in the more difficult encounters way down the line, where every small little minute detail could mean the difference between victory and defeat, manual control will be necessary, but definitely not while leveling. Characters move pretty well, the animations look good, the special effects look good, not incredible, but I wouldn't expect incredible from a game like this. Not that every game needs to be. If every game were incredible, then they'd all just be average. Now let's talk characters. Patricia looks great. Ambrosia looks great. She looks like she can definitely handle long, hard tools quite effortlessly. Valencia looks like she's quite proficient with beating people off. Beating people up. Jeff, why does the script say off? Yes, I'm looking at the script and it clearly says beating people off, not up. Did anybody at all proofread this? They did Siege dirty. She looks way too good to be a normal SR rarity unit that you'll never use. Honestly, a lot of the characters look great, specifically characters like Reiho, both their live 2D and 3D models. Sometimes I'm uncertain which I even prefer. Wait, why does it say look at Patricia's outfit in live 2D? Oh, that's why. You know what? Never mind. I think their live 2D models are definitely superior. Far superior. Character management is pretty basic. You can level them using XP books and gold. You can level abilities, you can equip gear, which is upgradable and interestingly locked behind certain upgrade levels, meaning whales with a ton of dupes are going to have much better gear and by extension characters than you. You'll also see a plugin down towards the bottom right, which is essentially another piece of gear that functions like a secondary character, an extension of the character that has the plugin equipped. This is also levelable. After reaching UR1, you can optimize your characters, increasing their stats. No matter how much I try, that just will never be a reality for me. I'm the equivalent of a Magikarp. I share the ocean with dolphins and whales, but I'll never be one of them. To attain UR1, SSR1, etc., you'll merge duplicate characters together using the promotion system, increasing their overall power. Due to the rate at which you acquire certain units and rarities, it might honestly be easier and more beneficial to focus on upgrading the more common units over the rare. After a certain point, the story stops being told alongside missions. I found this to be an unusual choice, as games like Blue Archive that have a disconnected story are disconnected from the beginning. Seeing an entire category dedicated to the main story, event stories, proxy stories, and faction stories was admittedly a little jarring. This means that you can progress through the story without progressing through the chapters themselves. Well, at least from what I've seen, there might be a limit imposed the deeper you get into the game, granted, but this is an easy way to not only entirely skip the story if you're uninterested in it and miss out on scenes like this, but to just binge the story if you've got nothing to do. And there is a lot of story comprising the various different story types. Asnia is your base of operations. You'll send units out on dispatch missions here, accumulating a number of resources that you'll use to upgrade. The activation center is another form of upgrading that you'll slowly progress through as you continue to play the game, providing a number of beneficial upgrades. At the academy, you'll select a character and 5 classmates to send to class. They'll engage in numerous rigorous activities, pushing themselves to their very limit and then breaking them. It's actually kind of a cute side activity. You'll receive an official grade for each activity that she participates in, running, music performance, science lab, among many others. These also cost enrollment tickets. This is a finite resource, so be careful who and what you use them on. I haven't unlocked either the STARSEED lab or Asnia plant yet because the game is very difficult and you can't mindlessly grind resources like in other gachas. For those of you that are either interested in joining a guild for the comfort of another person's company or to engage in cooperative content showcasing unity, camaraderie, well, there's a guild system present. There are 2 types of guild game modes available, Guild Operation and Guild Total War. The Operation pits you against a boss monster, whereas a Total War, well, it's the same thing, except you won't be able to kill it solo. Rather, all the damage you do builds up and is added to every other guild member's total damage, and once a certain threshold has been crossed, the boss will effectively die. Speaking of game modes, there are a variety of things to do in game. First, Operation, which is the main story mode. You won't sit through any story as it is disconnected entirely, but this is your main form of progression. You'll also receive an idle currency as time progresses that you can redeem every day. The data tower is a series of floors that reward you as you continue to clear them. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that this is endless, just like every other gacha game. Simulator, if you're too dumb to actually play the game. Supply search, where you can farm resources, specifically related to skill upgrades, plugin upgrades, and supply shop currency. I haven't unlocked the core analysis yet. The arena is your typical AI team versus team mode with no real purpose. I stand by my statement that I hate PvP in gacha games because it is never real PvP. It's always AI versus AI. Special ops, where you'll engage difficult bosses, world raids, whatever Dominion is, same with the Memorial. All of these are locked behind quite extensive time walls. I don't know anyone that has progressed far enough to unlock all of these, and some of them even started on release day. Outside of events, that is pretty much the game. One thing I do like is the launch exclusive SSR event, which rewards you with a different max rarity SSR unit after logging in every day for a total of 33 days. I'm unsure of whether this is going to be a permanent feature, so it might be worth logging in and redeeming them now before they disappear. Now let's talk the Gacha. There are 5 banners currently available. ID Pickup and See It Pickup, which are limited banners. Pity seems very good. You're guaranteed an SSR hero after 30 pulls. Recruiting an SSR before that 30 pull period is up will reset the pity counter. It utilizes a 50-50 system, meaning that you might not get the limited banner character after 30 pulls, but you will get them after 60 total. I always fail my 50-50, I swear the RNG gods hate me. There is a standard banner, the friendship point banner, and finally the plugin banner, which is where you pull for the plugins to equip on your characters. I actually dislike this. I like farming my gear in-game, but this functions similarly to a weapon banner, I guess. So I'm more or less okay with it. Oh, and one feature I almost missed out on was the STARSEED. It's essentially Instagram, but for STARSEED characters, where they post things like this or this. Although, you gotta wonder, like realistically here, who on earth is taking these? And that is STARSEED. Honestly, that's pretty fun. Degenerate gacha game with a decent story, combat, that works well as a side game. Let's go ahead here and break down my rating. Content, 5 out of 10. There's a decent amount to do. Unfortunately, you cannot grind it out using stamina because there is no stamina, both a blessing and a curse. Difficulty is 7 out of 10. The difficulty spike is pretty sudden. You'll be able to clear several stages, then immediately be hit by this enormous wall that requires you wait a couple days to accumulate resources to level. Free to play friendliness, 6 out of 10. 30 pity for an SSR is great, 60 pity for a guaranteed limited character is great. Unfortunately, you do need an egregious amount of dupes to really make full use of characters, so if you want to be competitive, it really isn't very free-to-play friendly. Gameplay, 5 out of 10. Animations were decent, skill effects were decent, things felt fluid enough and overall kept me interested. Graphics, 4 out of 10. Graphically, the game looks pretty dull. However, the characters look pretty damn good, so they do cancel each other out. Sound, 2 out of 10. The soundtrack was just pretty bad. Not horrible, but I don't recall a single moment in the 5 or 6 days straight that I played where I thought to myself, man, that was absolute fire. Story, 5 out of 10. The story wasn't really very interesting. Honestly, it was very predictable, but the scenes you get via this story are well worth the time investment. Voice acting, 6 out of 10. The dub was good. However, there wasn't enough voice acting for me to warrant rating this higher. World, 5 out of 10. The world felt flat, uninspired, fights were all pretty similar. I wanted a lot of diversity, lore, history behind characters in the world, and while there was definitely some, it wasn't nearly enough. Fun, 5 out of 10. I genuinely had some fun playing this game, but being locked every day due to the inability to grind for my characters kind of killed any momentum that it had going for it. Overall, I would give this 50 distracted degens out of 100 hot waifus, or 5 out of 10. Honestly, kind of surprised me. Hey you, where do you think you're going? Don't you close out of this tab. I didn't give you permission to do that. Sit your ass back down. Click one of the 2 videos that are going to be on screen in just a moment and keep watching my content. Keep enjoying my content.